and looking for Kenyan Bureau of Standards.
Yes. And we are also listing that we are trying to get funding for us to expand our market. But currently we are listed at Chandarana's for markets country. Yeah. For exportation, we currently just send to Kulu outside the country. But we are looking for mass market. I'd prefer you to make the red one. Maybe. Yeah, kusoma vizuri sana. Iko sawa.
Basi nanunua pesa ngapi?
600 moja. Yes.
Weka kama sana.
How about your colleagues? Kuna boxes hapa zimejaa.
Weka hapa. Wale mumulie. Lakini tukikula hiyo nyama kisiko sawa.
I think it's a cooperative house, local and international house, and they sell to the Middle East. Haya, Neema.
Karibu sana mheshimiwa. Asante sana kwa kumleta mheshimiwa.
Ndio Neema. Mtuambie Neema, historia yetu ni gani? Tunajulikana kwa nini?
Tunajulikana kwa mambo mengi tu. Lakini la muhimu ni kwamba sisi ndio slaughterhouse ambayo inasaidia wafugaji. Kwa sababu tunadili moja kwa moja na wafugaji. Ownership ya Neema ni ya wafugaji. It's owned by 3,000 shareholders. Grown from all the pastoral communities, and that gives us a plus. Again, Neema is also known for being the leading exporter of mutton to the Middle East market. Though it is not old, it is only 7 years old, but we've managed to be the leader in export of the meat, that is mutton meat, to the Middle East market, and looking for more markets. Recently, other than the Middle East, we were able to be approved for the export to Jordan and to Iran, and we're looking for more. Our other markets.
Prepare. Yes. I am going to give you market for Angola.
Thank you,
About
sir.
discussions with the people from that day.
Yes.
To open that market.
Thank you, sir.
So I think there's a state of
Another humble request that we would want to make you, Bwana Waziri, is the opening of the Kenyan market in Kenya. Because for the last 1.5 years, Kenyan meat was banned in the cattle market simply because of the F&D. And I think with your help, it's going to go a long way.
There is a process we started.
Yes.
So that we are able to have those people come visit.
Yes.
Check where we are keeping our animals.
Yes.
Those they must establish that the animals are quarantined.
Yes.
And the probability of getting them so that they are able to approve the importation of the meat and the market.
So, and already, the paperwork have started with the ambassador in Qatar, certificate
Yes.
They have sent the request, responded to them. So that has gone through the diplomatic channels. And as maybe what Rodriguez said, I think we are going to have a bilateral discussion. We are going to have a discussion with their team so that we spell out the challenges that we are facing or whatever they want us to address, we shall address it so that that market can be open. We've said that if you are selling your bike from Tanzania, yes, there is no difference. And at the border here in Namanga, there is no difference between us and them. Exactly. So, on us, yes, but we are handling diplomatically, and that will be solve the course. And that's why we say we're encouraging you to continue.
Yes.
We want you to engage more farmers so that we produce. One of the challenges they are saying is the quality of meat.
Exactly.
The quality of meat is going down.
Yeah.
You need to address, since you are the producers,
Yeah.
we need to address the issue of quality of meat so that we able to get premium price. We let us help you to get premium price.
Okay. So this actually in our strategic plan we are looking into that animal production rather than the animals from the pasture. We should also have a way of like fattening them or finishing the animals so that we improve on the quality. So this is something that we are working on, and in our next in the next 2 years we'll have achieved this, we believe.
I think we'll work on you. Because we have a program so
yes.
we can support that.
Thank you.
Thank
you, sir. We are selling. Yes, actually, we are not only displaying, we are selling. We've been selling.
I wanted to explain first what we have, what we do.
Yeah.
Na kuna magari. Na wewe kwa gari. Pesa ngapi? Habana
Bwana Waziri, you can also have a taste of our mushkaki. Na wewe? Sawa. Aden. Unapiga tu.
Harakisha bana. Harakisha. Wewe unapiga hesabu, huyu ana back.
Hamko tayari bana. Lemon 100 times 2, that is 2200. Yes, yes.
No, it's not for It's not
3 kilograms.
Sasa. Weights and measures.
Haya na hiyo.
Na hiyo usifuko inaweza ngapi?
500.
Sasa kama 500,
2000.
how much? 5,700.
Asante sana. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana Neema.
Bwana baada nyingine gani? Very good.
How are you, sir?
Tumefika nyumbani. Hano wako wapi? Niko hapa sasa. Jambo ndugu. Unapendelea vizuri?
Kabisa. Nataka tusaidie kwanza visitors.
Ngoja tununue kwanza.
Mimi nakuja kwa factory next week.
Sawa.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Sasa unataka tununue hii bwana?
Iko mtura hapa?
Hapana.
Iko sausage kule.
Leo umeshinda na wale wote simama. Nyama yako. Umetoa mafuta kabisa.
Sawa kabisa.
Hapana watu ng'ombe. Hii ni gani? Tuacha kila kitu.
Sasa msiwe na wasiwasi ati tutamaliza leo.
Ama uleta kaka wanataka kununua leta kaka kununua. Yes. Hii ni pesa ngapi? Pardon? Sawa. Yana watu. So, tuendelee.
Products, burgers, sausages, yes, tura.
Okay,
you can see here they are. This is the burger. This is the spicy one. This is now when it's cooked, the boro.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is the burger.
Very good.
So, and we also do, we engage the youth in selling the foldies and so on.
Yes. How is the business in general?
Actually, initially the business was, we were targeting the pastoralists, but we realized even the other people are more better, the farmers. They are more serious.
In consuming cow meat?
Yes.
What? Probably you require to preach to me.
You should test, you should test.
No,
don't test, but
it is the other communities which consume more.
If you come back here, you want to try it.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. Very good. Nawatakia ni mema. Lazima mtembea pande hizo ndio So when I open the picture, I can buy this.
You want to go like that? You want to go like that? And how we do the business elections, wanafanya mambo ya kuchagua nyama, ndani wanaangalia ndani hapa, condemn the meat or to approve the meat kwamba it can be for human consumption. So this is done by meat delegates. We train the meat inspectors. So that's what we do. Training meat inspectors. So but they go further to see that Basically, that was just
Thank you. Sawa.
Just 1 minute. I think we're getting more people to sit. But let me take this opportunity to welcome us this evening. First is to recognize the presence of our Cabinet Secretary, Agriculture and Livestock Development, Honorable Mithikal Nturi. Also to recognize the presence of PS Ntai. I'd also like to recognize the presence of our group CEO, Mr. Stephen Gitagama, as well as our partners who are here. I think we have now been able to witness, when Waziri, before you came, we had almost 2.5 hours with the PS. And I think we managed to go through all the stands and also to sample nyama, vile unasema. And I think it's something that you must probably tell us what you have seen here this evening. And also, this program started this morning with a lot of panels. One of the things that we've been doing today, when Waziri, is to be able to discuss the critical issues that affect the meat industry and the livestock industry. And since morning, we have had various experts here who have been able to discuss a number of issues, and some of them actually touch on policy. But also, it's a great opportunity for us to recognize the partnership that we have with your ministry. This is the second edition of the Meat Expo and Conference. We started this journey a while ago, and it's good to see that it's the second time that it is taking place. I know we do not have a lot of time, and therefore, without much further ado, I want to take this opportunity to invite the chairperson of the Secretariat, Mr. Evans Makoha, to come and give us a few words before we continue the program. Karibu. Makofi tafadhali kwa Mr. Evans, who has been our Secretariat Chair. I think the best thing is to pass by through there. Karibu, karibu Mr. Makoha.
Thank you so much. Our guest of honor, Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Agriculture and Livestock Development, our PS, the State Department for Livestock Development, CEO, Nation Media Group, Mr. Kitakama, KICC Africa Country Director, USAID Kenya Director for Resilience and Food Security, RETRAC CEO, and other development partners. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to have our guest of honor here today. This is the second edition of the Meat Expo. The first Meat Expo that we did in 2021 was mooted by agencies in the meat industry along the value chain with our State Department. And the purpose was mainly to assure the meat consumers on issues of safety, and also to open up, create the awareness on issues of meat and market, export market for our meat products and livestock. This one is the second one, and the main purpose for our Meat Expo is mainly to bring together the producers, the marketers, the processors, and exporters of meat. And we want to put our meat in the international market to prove that Kenya has the best quality of meat for the purpose of bringing our economy in the right direction. So our chief guest, it is important to note that we have various partners, strategic partners we have worked with after signing the MOU. I just want to recognize some of them who may be here. Nation Media Group has been a key partner. I know they will say something. We have RETRAC. They will say something also. We have Lake. Wherever you are, please just stand up for some people to see you. Lake. Yeah, he's our key partner. We also have KICC Africa. I know they will say something, but we have worked together. They are part of the secretariat that has been organizing this event. We also have AU IBA. Where are you? AU IBA? Yeah, somebody wanted to say something, but it looks like she's in the tents there. So those are the key strategic partners we have been working with, and other development partners who have given us support. KICC Africa, KCB Foundation, Equity Bank Foundation, and many other development partners have supported us, including USAID. We want to say thank you so much. And we also want to appreciate your office, Bana CS, for the support you have given our department. We want to appreciate and thank you so much for coming. Now, last but not least, we want to make this event an annual event. We will want to request for your blessings and your future support so that we keep opening up the market for our livestock and livestock products and improve the livelihoods. And you are aware that the majority of the livestock of keepers are in the ASAL and semi-ASAL areas, and that is their mainstay. And because of that, we want to really open up and work together with the private sector to improve the meat industry for our own prosperity, to look at the technologies that we are using, the current technologies, and we also want to create links, B2B, so that we want to know who is doing what, and if I have something, where do I take it? Also, we want to look at how can this meat industry support the youth? Where will the youth fit in the livestock value chain? So those are some of the key issues and the reasons why we are having this meat expo. I don't want to take so much time. I want to say thank you so much for coming, creating time to come and say a word with us. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much. Tumpatie makofi. I think our secretariat head has made some very important pronouncements. He has asked the CS for his blessings for this to be an annual event. This event is supposed to create linkages, access to market, as well as opportunity for export. I think with that, you sort of have set the ball rolling for us to invite my friend Wamboi, who's the Retruck CEO, to come and give us a few words. Please let us welcome her with a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. The CS, Agriculture, Livestock and Development, Honorable Linturi Mindika, the PS, Harry Kimtai, organizers, partners, and exhibitors. I speak on behalf of the private sector, and in the interest of time, I really won't read the speech. I just want to say we really want to move our meat industry from where it is to where it should be. The PS is always saying, I keep going back to one thing, between 1999 and 2002, Botswana sent a group of people to come and benchmark in Kenya so that their industry can grow to where Kenya was. Net effect of that benchmarking, Botswana is now one of the leading, if not the leading exporters of meat to the European market, where we are still struggling to go in. So part of the purpose of having the Meat Expo is to discuss how do we leapfrog from where we were past where we are to where we should be, so that we can grow this market way beyond the current capacity it has. As we went around, there was a lot of discussion about the quality. What is it that we can do, first as government, in terms of facilitating, creating opportunities, having what we used to have, veterinary people going around and looking at the produce. How do we, private sector, invest to ensure that that sector really grows? I'll give you a good example. I think in 2016, Gatsby supported Tuskys as a supermarket to grow its meat industry. And it grew in 6 months from 3.5 million to 52 million in 6 months, simply by looking at the quality, value addition, so that instead of anything that can be used, similar to what KMC is doing now, anything that can be used becomes an outlet. How do we bring in the private sector and government to work together to grow that sector so that we are able to, I'll use the CS's words, the meat from any of the distributors, the meat from NEMA, the meat from KMC looks the same when displayed, because remember, a consumer buys with their eyes. We saw that right now. The consumer buys with the eye. I see, I like, I want. How do we also bridge the gap? Again, walking around, you realize the consumer's consumption of meat is limited to how he knows how to cook it. So the average Kenyan chomas nyamas or stews nyama. But do we have the knowledge to know what do we stew, what do we roast, what do we boil? Because that, again, creates an opportunity for differentiation of the cuts, which, again, creates opportunity for different values. So we look forward to having a very engaging 2-3 days to see how we can move. And it will be good for us as organizers, and that's the challenge to the partners, to track from when we started to where we are, to where we want to take the Meat Expo, so that we are able to say it is achieving its purpose. Thank you very much, Clifford.
Thank you very much. I think It's a challenge of monitoring and evaluation, that we should be able to see where we came from and where we're going, and I believe that that's a challenge that has been taken on board by the Secretariat. For us to go to the next level of the program, let me take this opportunity to invite a very key partner who has walked with us this journey, not only in the inaugural one, but also in the second one. Please join me in inviting Ms. Jennifer Maurer, who's the Director, Resilience and Food Security Center of Excellence, USAID Kenya and East Africa. I'm sure I pronounced your name very badly.
Perfectly. Oh, thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Development, PS for the State Department of Livestock. Please accept all protocols observed. I know we need to move the program forward. It's great pleasure, as my introduced. I was a part of the inaugural Meat Expo, so it's great to be back for the second annual one in Kenya. I have a few remarks to make, and then I'll pass on to our next colleagues. It's a great pleasure, as I said, to join this afternoon for this important occasion of the Kenya Meat Expo 2023. The Meat Expo 2023 brings us all together and gives us an opportunity to learn from best practices and innovative products from the livestock sector. USAID has a strong partnership with the government of Kenya and the Kenya people and the private sector at the national and county levels, and provides significant support to the livestock sector in Kenya. We are proud of this strong partnership, which allows us to work hand in hand to address the challenges that limit wealth creation through the sector. I am happy to note that together, through partnerships, we are making significant strides to increase economic opportunities across the livestock value chain in Kenya. Over the last 5 years, USAID has partnered with the government of Kenya and the private sector to boost markets in the livestock sector in various ways. These include the development of climate-proof infrastructure for all the main livestock markets, from Garissa near the Somalia border to Moali and Marsabit to Ladwar in Turkana, just to mention a few. This has allowed for an increase of livelihood diversification of products and services for over 74,000 people and livestock producers in those 5 counties. We also have supported over 300 startup businesses in the livestock value chain, which in turn has helped livestock producers increase their incomes. The businesses include supply of feed, veterinary medicines, and other very critical inputs, as well as value addition through the processing of meat and meat products, such as camel sausage and camel yogurt. I hope many of you got to taste the camel sausage in the booth that's representing the Isiolo County Value Addition and Chamber of Commerce there. It's a great product, and I even use it at home with my family, so I've been converted to camel meat sausages. In addition, USAID has supported the formation of 45 cooperatives in 6 counties to better enhance livestock production and marketing in those counties. Promoting financial services is another critical aspect of the work and partnership that has allowed for the establishment of Northern Kenya's Impact Fund that is mobilizing capital through USAID's Kenya Investment Mechanism. I'm happy to note that through this effort, USAID has supported micro and small and medium enterprises that have now access to the tune of 1.6 billion Kenya shillings throughout the northern Kenya ASALs. This truly supports the bottom-up economy growth, which is the motto of the current Kenya Kwanza government. USAID, again in partnership with the government's State Department of Development for Livestock, is helping to develop Kenya's first livestock master plan that aims at increasing coordination and attracting investment in the livestock sector, both for the private sector opportunities and partnerships, as well as with other key development partners, such as AUI Bar and other FAO and others. USAID is also supporting the development of the national beef sector strategy as well as the dairy sector strategy, which are aimed at enhancing the competitiveness and the vibrancy of the sector to increase the incomes for livestock producers and help Kenyans to better their livelihoods. And finally, in partnership with Strathmore University, USAID is also supporting the government of Kenya to come up with the first ever ACEL's Economic Development Master Plan, similar to the LAPSET corridors plan that aims at tapping the full economic growth potential of the livestock sector as well as the ACEL areas of Kenya. We look forward to continuing to work together to make the livestock sector vibrant in this country with both the government of Kenya and our counterparts in the private sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Jennifer. Jennifer, I'll tell you that there is one person amongst us here who found it very difficult to be converted to take camel products. I will not mention his name, but in due course, he will be converted. Let me take this opportunity to invite the country director to Gatsby Africa, Mr. Sam Kareidi. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Bwana PS, and Bwana CS and Bwana PS, and all our good stakeholders in the meat industry, and our fellow partners in the meat sector development, good afternoon. I don't have a speech today, but I just want to make a few remarks because this is our second year, or our second event in this Meat Expo. Last year, I had an opportunity to meet a former key economist. He retired. He was I think he was a PS in the Ministry of Planning. And I asked him, Mzee, because you have retired now, what word do you have for younger economists like me looking into the future? He told me in 2032, Kenya will be 65% urban. And that 65% urban has very specific meat or food preferences. Among them, the move from starch to protein. And right now, we are talking about a 300 metric ton deficit in Kenya before 2032. So what will 2032 look like if today we have a deficit of 300,000 metric tons? Not just that. Those who know that Kenya is a middle-income country now, and by 2028, just 5 years from now, will be an upper middle-income country. That complicates matters even more, meaning there will be an expanded middle class that requires this kind of differentiated products. If you look on the other side of it, the last expo we had, the statistic I went away with was, and I think Dr. Kaberia can help us with this, is that our mortality rate for our animals is over 50%. Bwana CS, for me to sell 100 cows, I need to keep 200, because 50% will die. That's the statistic for Kenya, very depressing. A growing market, a growing middle class, a growing middle-income country, an urbanizing country, a mortality rate of 50%. And there the economics starts to fall apart. So we have a lot of work to work in the entire sector to do that. Having said that, there are very many opportunities. I like looking at the opportunities end of a sector, and we have very many export opportunities. And I'm sure Ritrak, CEO, also mentioned this. They're emerging every time, and I know Kenya has negotiated different export quotas, even to Middle East, that we can't even meet because of our own even deficit here. And the investments in aggregation in Kenya, how do we actually build volumes of meat products? How do we actually incentivize fodder production in Kenya? Because those animals will need to eat and be healthy. Those are opportunities that actually, looking to the future, are going to help boost the sector even more. Bwana CS, I know that this government is very interested in leather and leather products. The issue here then, again, is how do we actually sell the whole animal? Some leather reforms may be very much appreciated so that the whole animal actually becomes much more beneficial to the farmer and brings the margins even higher for the farmer. And at Gatsby, we are very happy to work with the government. But at PS, we've been with you with KMT for a long time, and thank you so much. And we are willing to work with you even more to make this sector even more successful. So we look forward to the sector with hope, not in a depressed mind. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam Karedi. I think in as much as he has given us some interesting statistics, he has also said that for every challenge, there's an opportunity and there's an opportunity for innovation. It's not every day that I manage to introduce my boss, but let me take this opportunity to invite Mr. Stephen Gitagama, the Group CEO of Nation Media Group, to give us a few remarks. Please invite him with a round of applause. I thought NMG people will create a, kelele kidogo. Karibu, Bwana Gitagama.
Thank you very much. Bwana Clifford is looking for promotion, but I'm worried that that might not come through this platform. Waziri, CS Bwana Mithika Linturi, PS Bwana Hari Kimtai, who is my neighbor, and we only meet when we are enjoying meat here, but back in the village, he's very scarce. I think, Waziri, you have kept him too busy. I think today is indeed a very good day for us, a great day that we are holding this second Expo after the first successful Expo in 2021. And statistics from that Expo shows that indeed the interest was very high. We had over 70 exhibitors and about 10 participants, people who walked in and out of this KICC place. Now, from the experience then and from the testimonials that we have had from the various exhibitors, the experience was quite useful. The interactions, the networking, and the outtake out of that exhibition was very positive to those people who both attended and those who participated. I remember the Friday was particularly the climax where we enjoyed the meat and we had a very good evening. Now, I think a very critical aspect of our food cycle, food, meat. When we were walking here, Waziri mentioned that he enjoys his meat and rarely does he eat without having a piece of meat or something like that. Now, the other statistics we know is that in 2050, the world will have about 9 billion worth of human beings. The population of the world will be 9 billion. And the cultivable land, the land that we can plant food, we can plant crops, will be 65% of that land will be in Africa. So Africa holds the key to food. Today, we say the basic necessities are food, shelter, and clothing. But you can have shelter, you can have clothing, but if you don't have food, it is hell. So food is so critical. And when we come to discuss a very important aspect of food like meat, I think it's a very significant issue that as NMG, we are proud to be associated with this discussion. Now, somebody will ask, why would NMG be interested in partnering on such a discussion, in partnering on an expo on meat? I think I like reminding anybody I meet that the purpose of the Nation Media Group is to transform lives positively, transform how we exist in a positive way. So through this exhibition, we are able to bring various players. We are able to bring the producers, the consumers, the suppliers of various inputs, and all the players. We are also, today I've seen players ranging from the top end, that's the KMC, the Isuzus, and I've also seen Camp David. I've also seen Mama Ocheng fish eateries here. So you can see we have brought a range of players in the food sector, and that's a very good thing. It means we are creating, and we are also working in the spirit of the government to try and promote the people who are at the bottom to the top. So we are committed to this, and will continue to partner with all the players to ensure that we create the necessary connections, we create the necessary networks between suppliers of our animal products and the consumers of this product, and top of this, we would like to see the markets growing. Everybody is looking to grow their market so that we can create the necessary jobs and we can create the much needed upgrade on our society. We are committed to that, and that will happen. Now, the theme of these 3 days of the Expo is promoting a resilient meat industry through investment and innovation of for job creation and economic growth. That's exactly why we are doing this. We want to make sure that we grow innovation, we create jobs, and on top of that, we will achieve an economic growth. I'm sure the people who are going to participate, the people who are exhibiting, will reap the benefits of the exhibition, and you'll be with us next year now that we have been promised by our partner from the State Department of Livestock Development that you'll be here next year. And our Waziri, I hope you can also confirm at the end of your speech that you'll be here with us next year and support us as we do this Expo. And if possible, it might be good to also do some form of county expos, because the meat eaters are significantly in Nairobi, but there are many producers. Like I saw a team from Isiolo, there are people from Wajir and all those other places that are significant contributors to this business. So together, we are going to build a strong foundation for the future of the meat industry and for the future of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gitagama. I think as we're coming to the end of our program, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to invite the PS State Department for Livestock Development, Mr. Harry Kimtai, who will then, after his few remarks, invite our guest of honor to come and speak to us. Please let's welcome Mr. Harry Kimtai with a round of applause.
Thank you. I think today I've been given a simple task just to invite our chief guest. Let me start by recognizing our chief guest of today's event, our Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Honorable Mithika Linturi, and our very close partner that we've worked very close with, Nation Media Group, who always come to us. I don't think we have had a chance to meet them, to go to their offices, but they've always come to our offices. Thank you so much, Stephen Gitagama, the CEO of Nation Media Group. Our development partners who have stood with us, led by USAID, Jennifer Mora, and you promised that you will be in attendance. Thank you so much. KICC Africa, thank you always for standing with us. And I think you have been backstopping us in all these events, and we want to appreciate you even in our policies. You've always stood with us. Retrack, the CEO, and I want to just invite our new partner, the CEO of KEPROPA, the Kenya Export Promotion Council, to come in front, to just come and say a word and greet us. This is our new partner that has joined us, and she has promised us that she's going to take us international. So maybe next year will be local or national, but the other year we promise to go international. She has promised Dubai for us. Welcome, madam.
Thank you very much, Bona PS. Our chief guest today, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Mr. Mithika Linturi. The guests up with me, the CEO for Retrack, the CEO for Nation Branding, for Nation Media. Thank you so much for having me. As you can tell, this was something that was abrupt, but I still have a messaging for everyone here, that as Kenya, we are producers of meat. And as producers of meat, we need to work together to improve that value chain that is the production of Kenyan meat. And when we talk about production of meat, we should look above that and look towards also producing for the international market and what it means then to produce for the international market. For international market, one of the things that is important is the standards of the meat production, because we're going to be facing non-tariff barriers when it comes to standards to access that market. So as Kenya, we need to know what those standards are and to see how we're able to customize the same for use here in our Kenyan market and becomes a production process so that you can be able to deliver to the international market. So there's that issue of standards, and there's the issue of branding and product adaptation. I'm very happy to hear about product adaptation to sausages of camel meat. I'm happy to see we have a huge stakeholders of exporters. I have come across NEMA, the NEMA Production Cooperative. I have come across QMP. I've seen Farmer's Choice and Meat Choice, which already speaks to Kenya as a country positioned in the meat export value chain. All we need to do is to enhance, to look at the areas where the interventions will be able to increase the production and to be able to comply with the standards that are necessary to allow us to enter into the international market. So what is my call of action? The call of action for Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, that is also in line with all other government policies and procedures, is to be able to look at the prioritized market value chains and be able to see what interventions each of us play to ensure that the product is not only for the local consumption, but also for the market, for international market. So with those very few remarks, I just want to thank the PS and give him back so that he can be able to continue the program. Asante.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for our CEO, and as he's promised to take us to the international market based on a branding aspect of our products. Our Cabinet Secretary, I think the previous speakers have talked on the importance of the livestock subsector, both the development partners and the private sector. And I want to say that just also give a few of the statistics just to make sure that we interest the private sector is that we expect the growth for, or the increase for demand for meat. And these are statistics that we got from the study that was done by FAO, that between 2010 in the country and 2050, the demand for meat and meat products will increase by 170%. Now, if you do that projection and see the kind of investment that you're putting into the livestock sector, I think it is shocking. We need to up our game. We need to increase our investments in the livestock subsector. I want, therefore, to talk about what is the government doing at this particular moment, just to bring about two programs that we were undertaking through the State Department for Livestock. One is we are trying to commercialize also our small-scale farmers, and we have a program under the Kenya Livestock Commercialization Program. This covers 10 counties, and we've picked some of the value chains that have been exhibited here today, and we want to work very closely with the private companies because we have changed. We have a policy shift now that we are working closely with the private sector. And this exhibition, therefore, is going to demonstrate that in terms of production and value addition up to the market. The other issue that maybe, sir, I want to bring to the attention of the stakeholders, that we want to continue partnering with you because leveraging on your positions, different actions that you undertake, different partnership that you have with the different stakeholders will help the State Department to grow the livestock subsector. I really want to appreciate the stakeholders who have always come and stood with us to support this meat expo. Initially, the way it was being perceived, I think it was like our meat is basically, when we do such expo, it's like we are going to do the juakali, the nyama choma that we normally do. But today, sir, maybe you never tasted, but I had an opportunity to come here much earlier. I tested, and I was shown that there is meat that is aged. 3 months, I don't know, 14 days, 21 days, 3 months, and up to around 9 months. And out of it, every time you age this meat, its value keeps on increasing. The one that was there, it was being displayed, it was going for 2,000 shillings per kg. That means just storing meat alone, making sure that it is safe, you increase the value of meat, and your income will also go up. So I think the partnership here has just demonstrated that indeed there is a need to invest more in the sector, and I want to give a commitment, which you will also do, sir, that if possible, and you will pronounce this for us, that we make it an annual event. It has been a challenge because we have now have a standard and MOU that we have entered with some of these development partners, which basically we shall be renewing it. This MOU went through the process of vetting. It got the consent of the Attorney General, and also it got the consent of the Ministry of our National Treasury. So I want to assure our development partners, I want to assure our partners and our stakeholders that this going forward will be one of the events, and that's why we also brought on board KPROPA, not just to do it local, but to see a future and our export markets. That's where we are going. With those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to join me to welcome our Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Mithika Linturi, to come and give his key remarks. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. Asante sana PS Kimtai, the participants in this great event, and a special mention to the CEO, Nation Media Group, Stephen Gitagama, the Ngasbai representative, Mr. Njoroge, the USID, and all the invited guests, and ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm Jambo. Let me say that I'm happy, and it's a great pleasure for me to be a party to this great and very important historic event. The Meat Expo Kenya is an initiative between the State Department of Livestock Development and the meat industry players. The original concept of holding this expo was developed by the Department of Livestock and partners, drawn from private sector and development support agencies, and which agencies included, and I thank them, the Nation Media Group, GASBI, Kenya Meat and Livestock Exporters Council, the Retail Traders of Kenya, Kenya Export Branding and Promotion Agency, KPROPA. The theme, you are aware of this year's Meat Expo 2023, is promoting resilience in the meat industry through investment and innovation for job creation and economic growth, which is in reference to improving the performance of the meat industry in our country. Through this event, the government has built partnerships with some key players of the meat industry, notably those of the GASPI, the Retail Traders Association of Kenya, Kenya Meat and Livestock Exports Industry Council, the Nation Media Group, through a working MOU which helped in identifying, mobilizing, and engaging various industry players from various value chains who are currently exhibiting in this event. In all this undertaking, I believe some of the challenges have been addressed. Globally, the livestock sector is central to achieving many of the Sustainable Development Goals and directly contributes to most of them. About 1.3 billion people in the world depend on livestock for livelihood. The growing demand for livestock products in developing countries is driven by population growth, higher incomes, and urbanization. This presents a huge opportunity for hundreds of millions of small-owned livestock producers, processors, and marketers, many of whom are women and the youth, to meet that market demand, improve livelihoods, and rise out of poverty. The predicted livestock revolution, i.e. that's the global increase in demand for food of animal origin, presents great opportunity for Africa. The contribution of livestock to national economic growth is largely dependent on meat and dairy production, while products contribute significantly to food and nutritional security. The Kenya meat industry has been growing over the years through the concerted efforts of the government, private sector players, and the development partners. Meat produced in Kenya is consumed locally and for the export market in the EAC, COMESA, and the Middle East countries. In Kenya, meat for public consumption is obtained from different categories of animals, ranging from cattle, camel, sheep, goats, poultry, donkey, rabbits, and other animals as already gazetted by the relevant authorities to ensure its awesomeness for human consumption. Currently, it is estimated that an average Kenyan consumes 12 kilograms per year against the World Health Organization recommendation of 34 kilograms in a year. The Meat Expo 2023 has therefore been organized to showcase what the national government, county governments, and other meat industry stakeholders have been doing to improve production, meat quality assurance, meat marketing, and trade and other enabling services provided, such as finance, insurance, regulation, and research. Going forward, this important event will be held annually. The ministry intends to make it part of the Livestock Week. At the end of this year's Meat Expo, I expect that the following, among others, objectives will be achieved. I expect from this for us to establish and deeper or create a deeper awareness among all the players about the different categories of meat and meat products available in Kenya, how they are produced, processed, and kept safe for human consumption. Provide you participants with a forum for networking to promote business opportunities and investments in the meat industry. I also expect participants to have an opportunity on insightful leadership on the industry policies, innovations, and partnerships. Be able to offer other affiliated sectors an opportunity to showcase their contribution towards growth of this important sector. Be able to identify the livestock and meat market as a priority economic growth sector in line with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, and be able to provide a facilitated expert platform for learning and debate amongst livestock value chain players. Ladies and gentlemen, to demonstrate the importance attached by the government to meat industry reforms in policy, legislation, and institutional governance have been put in place for the livestock sector. The most recent policy reforms include the sessional paper number 3 of 2020 on national livestock policy, sessional paper number 2 of 2020 on veterinary policy, agriculture insurance policy, and a number of other livestock commodity-based policies and strategies. In legislation regulating the sector, several amendments have been done to the existing laws, but they still require complete overhaul to respond to the current needs of the livestock sector. The government has therefore identified legislation and enforcement of the laws as being the weakest link in bringing sanity to the well-functioning of the meat industry. Currently, there are 14 different laws governing the administration of meat industry directly, some of which are inconsistent with the Constitution, others are obsolete, and some outrightly outrageous to implement. And in making these laws relevant and consistent, the government has undertaken the task of reviewing in collaboration with all stakeholders. And these recommendations will be forwarded to Parliament for the creation of the relevant new legislations. The 4 laws currently undergoing the consultative process stimulate the livestock sector and improve the meat industry are the Livestock Bill, Veterinary Public Health Bill, and the Animal Welfare and Protection Bill. And the purpose of these reviews is to remove ambiguities align them with the spirit of devolution to address the emerging challenges and make the livestock sector modern and competitive as envisaged in the Vision 2030. In addressing the future challenges that may arise in the sector, Sessional Paper Number 3 of 2020 on National Livestock Policy recommended that the government should develop a comprehensive livestock master plan whose preparation has been or is already ongoing. The government expects to roll it out in the next financial year so that resources are allocated to priority areas of investment unique to each county. This will be the game changer in the livestock subsector. In ensuring good governance and prudent management of financial resources, the government has reorganized and reassigned functions and management of institutions handling livestock issues, including the Kenya Meat Commission, the Kenya Animal Genetic Resource Center, the Kenya Agricultural, and the Kenya Livestock Research Organizational Cadre. This is aimed at improving their efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery to livestock farmers. Kenya Meat Commission is now open and is slaughtering 190 animals on a daily basis compared to the 10 animals slaughtered formerly. The Kenya Animal Genetic Resource Center, KICC, has launched regional centers for delivery of genetic material and liquid nitrogen, while KALRO has established centers specifically dedicated to conduct research and development of high-quality, fast-maturing meat animals. Further, in promoting the meat sector growth by the private sector, the government has made a raft of changes in provision of grants to SMEs and has created a possibility of public-private partnerships. The drive of the de-risking inclusion and value enhancement of pastoral economies project in the livestock department is focusing on how to protect the pastoral economies against drought, risk, increase financial inclusion of pastoralists and better connect them to markets, facilitate livestock trade and upgrade value chains by mobilizing investment. Through the drive project, the government is currently providing insurance services to cushion animals against drought and minimize destitution of farmers in the SR areas. As I conclude, I'm glad to extend my sincere thanks to all those who ensure that this Expo 2023 has become a reality through your material, financial, and technical support. Special recognition goes to those development partners who supported this initiative, namely the Nation Media Group, Gas by Africa, Keproba, Chemlake, and USAID, amongst others. Lastly, is my appeal to all of you to join hands and start preparing for the next Livestock Expo that will be on next year, together with the Livestock Week. And to that end, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and duty to declare this 3-day event of the Meat Expo 2023 officially opened. Na asante sana. Just to mention one or two issues that were raised. For us to be able to really be able to leverage and take advantage of the seriousness that the government has put into the livestock sector, amongst other the recommendations or the policies that we are undertaking as government. And I don't remember, I think it's one of the speakers spoke about the potential that we have in the leather industry. Leather is huge, it's huge business, a great thing. And we are very committed to ensuring that we promote the growth of the leather sector, the leather industry. In ensuring this happens, we do not forget the potential that there is within this sector to put our young men and women into employment. We do not also forget the possibility that we have as a country in trying to tap foreign exchange through the development of leather. The amount of money that we will be saved, if we won't be able to save as a country, that we take out when we look at the kind of imports that we get from other countries that are leather made are enormous. Today, it also surprises me, being one of the countries that claim or are respected to have the largest hand in Africa, and the hand that also is a source of raw material for leather items, you'll be surprised to learn that the number of children that we have in our schools, the number of men and women in this country that are permanently buying handbags, if we were to go to an extra mile and be able to develop this leather sector, how much money we would be making out of that particular area alone of making shoes to give to our children to go to schools. They are lending handbags that we are importing from out of this country is too much money. A much value we would have handed by turning that leather into and making them or turning them to umbrellas that every man here has on his waist. And umbrellas that you have, I'm sure some of you are putting on or wearing umbrellas that are ranging between the level of 2,000 to 40,000 shillings. And that one single umbrella, I'm sure one hind or one skin of one cow can be able to make 3 or 4. So there's serious great potential. People are buying, we have lost a lot of money. We have lost a lot of resources by our failure to critically be able to look at the potential that there is or exists in the leather industry. So I'm inviting, and I do want to thank you people, because you are in this space, to also be able to come in and give us the necessary support. We are mopping up all the leather that we have in this country, and the State Department of Livestock has put mechanisms on how we can be able to get this leather from all over, with, of course, a view of trying to hand value to the leather that we have, which will finally, or at the end of the day, be able to be turned into valuable items that will be able to fetch us enough foreign exchange that will be able to be used by our local consumers, so that the little or the money that we spend by exporting leather-made items, yet we have the largest ant in Africa that is a raw material, a source of raw material for leather, is actually put into better use. So with those very many remarks, thank you very much, and I want to thank you for such a great day. And I also want to confirm that next year, I will still avail myself, I will be more prepared, and I will be part of you to making sure and it is a success. Thank you, Sana Asanteni.
Thank you so much, Honorable Inturi. Bwana CS has made us a raft of promises, and I know he's a man who keeps his promises. I think let us thank him with another round of applause. He has promised he's going to be here next year. He's going to be with us early. He has also promised his support for the next Expos as we go along. And I think if we look at our time, we have closed at the right time. We are 3 minutes shy of 5 p.m., which in English time it is called close of business. So let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who has been able to join us since morning. A really great special thanks to Bwana Waziri for you to be able to carve out some time. A great thanks to our partners. I know you've been very patient with us throughout the whole day. And also a great thanks to our participants who have not only been with us since morning, but they've been able to join us for this afternoon event. It is with humility that I would like to announce that we are now at leisure to leave. And before we leave, I think, Waziri, there is some nyama you chose there somewhere, hapo kwa bottom up. I think we can pass by for some nice nyama just on your way to the office. Asanteni sana. Looking forward to seeing you for the next 2 days. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you very much.